Hello, I want to show you an example of an online presence analysis that I can do for you for free. And basically what I'll do is I'm doing an example of a Dallas plumber asking me to see what I can do and show them like SEO and other internet marketing things they can do to grow their business online. My name is David Hood. I'm the Dallas SEO Geek. And before I show you that, I do want to say real quick that I do have a different business philosophy than a lot of the other internet marketing companies that I've seen out there. I'm not out there to grab as much money as possible. I'm out there to build long-term relationships with integrity, and that's how I really think that you build businesses, and that's why I believe in educating my customers on kind of what I'm doing. It helps you become a better customer, but it also helps you understand and really think, okay, yeah, he is providing value. When there's a lot of people out there that don't know, or they pay a lot of money and they don't get results, and I can kind of show you exactly, and so you can understand why you'll get results and stuff like that. But I mean, I just think that doing business with integrity like that is really how long-term we both win. So now into the example. So what I would do is I'll look up. This is the search phrase, and sometimes you'll do like, let's say you want to do Dallas and Fort Worth or a suburb like Plano or something. Sometimes you kind of go into multiple cities, but just as an example, I'm just doing Dallas. This is the search phrase, and this is how many times per month that search phrase gets typed exactly. So 1,600 people approximately 1,600 people a month type in the exact phrase Dallas plumber. Right here, this is the pay-per-click advertising. So if you were going to bid, let's say you're going to bid in here, that's how much you would pay on average, $48.42. This is pretty expensive. $48 is on the very high end for pay-per-click, which usually means it's very competitive. There's only a few different niches that I've seen be higher than this. Anything over 10, I think, is really expensive. And usually I don't recommend to do pay-per-click unless there's some really good deals, because over time that's the most expensive way. And Google has really increased the price of that over the last several years, and it's only going to get more expensive. Also, once you stop putting money into it, the traffic immediately disappears. So I know there's a lot of companies out there that are trying to sell this because Google is pushing it onto SEO people and internet marketing people and getting them certified and stuff like that. And that's if they say they're Google certified, that just means that they're certified to sell Google's services, which is very easy to get. But anyway, this is very expensive. I usually don't go after it, but I like looking at it as a performance metric, or I mean as a competition metric as well. I am hiding two columns here because there's a few things that I want to show in this public video, and I'll show you if I do one for you. It's kind of a way to measure a competition, but also the opportunity as well. It's an interesting thing that I put in here myself that you probably won't see other people do. So what I have is together all these keywords or search phrases. They're searched by the most searched per month, and if I go here to the pivot table. And again, if there were multiple cities, this would make a little more sense. But so there's 7,000 exact searches per month. And then there's what's called broad searches. So about 30% of searches online are brand new searches that are like long specific search phrases, Dallas plumber for this and this or something. So that's what is included in broad. And there's also a lot of other search phrases that get searched not on a regular basis, but sometimes, like every other month it gets searched. There's a lot of those, and so those are included in here as well. And usually this is double the exact amount, which I'm surprised it came out this close this time. Usually it doesn't come out exactly that much. And you can see that it's dropped a little bit, probably the average cost per click, probably because as you get further down here, it gets less and less expensive because people aren't competing for it as much. And then you also have ones that are like people usually don't bid as much on like a branded. This is a company, Baker's Brothers. Okay, so what do I have over here? So basically I've taken the broad traffic and I've discounted it by 20% because some of these searches, you know, like they might be Dallas home plumbing repair. You know, they're not really interested in that. So usually about maybe 80%-ish of those broad searches you're actually interested in. And then what I do is I take the website conversion ratio. So let's say 10% of the people will either call or fill out a form or something like that. I call that a conversion. It doesn't necessarily mean they turn into a customer, but it means the website has done its job. They've entered your sales funnel, and you are able to contact them, or they contact you directly. You can get their information. That's a conversion. Okay, and then I have right here, and this could vary widely by company and by niche. 25% close ratio. So you know, I think when I get plumbing, I usually don't call more than 4 or 5. So I imagine that this is probably a pretty good close ratio, a pretty average close ratio for a plumber. I don't know. And then the value of the close. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to calculate the value of the traffic. There's some businesses, especially like specialty restaurants, a lot of times the SEO, it's usually not worth it, even if you find someone who does it for a very low price, because the amount of money that you make per customer is very low. And that doesn't mean it's not always worth it. There are times when it is worth it. But for a lot of little niches that there's either low traffic or the amount of value they get from a single customer is very low, it's not really worth it. And that's why I always like to look at this, see, okay, what's the value? So, and this explains a little bit of why people are bidding so high, because based upon this, so if you were to rank first on average, you'd get about, this is about 35% of the traffic, and it's roughly first. That's roughly what the first person gets. 35% of the people that search will click on the first search result, and so that takes it down to 5180. But you take that and you put it into this calculation that I have here, and that's 40,000 a month. Okay. And the second, you get about half, so that's 20,000, and then third is a little more than half of second, and that would be about 11,000. And so you can actually see this distribution is exponential. This right here sums up to 63%. So almost 2/3 of the traffic gets in top 3. So that's kind of what I call the money zone, because once you get beyond here, the amount of clicks you get drops really quickly. And unless that term gets searched a lot, it's really not. I really don't count it as a win until you get into the top 3. And for a lot of businesses, I'm able to dominate, and that's where I usually kind of come in between here. I would say, okay, you kind of expect if we dominate, we're going to be, let's say, more like 30,000 a month. So that's pretty valuable, right? So this is just the keyword research. This is the research that says, okay, what's the opportunity? Now I do like to look at the competition, and I'm going to show you what the competition would be like. So when I search Dallas plumbing, here's one of the first websites. I'm going to show you kind of how I analyze it. So the first thing that I always look at is air conditioning. Okay, so air conditioning, carrier, AC repair, plumber. This is not that great of a title. I think they have a really great domain, dallasplumbing.com. But the fact that their title, usually the title makes a big difference. So here's another one, Dallas Plumber. They have it right there in the #1 search phrase. See, the #1 search phrase is Dallas Plumber, and they have it right there in their title. The title makes a big difference because you can only have one homepage title, and it has to be very short. And so Google takes that highly into consideration into what you're relevant to, because Google really wants to give the most relevant results. Let's look at someone else's title. Baker's Brothers Plumbing Dallas. So that theirs isn't quite as good, but it's still pretty good. They rank well for Dallas Plumbing, and not as good for Dallas Plumber, as you can see, because of the title. So there's a lot more to what to do on your page, what text you have on here, your links, how people respond to your page. It's actually kind of an ugly page. It's way too wide for a modern page. It's very busy. Although they have their phone number 100 times, that's good that they have their phone number several times. One sec. So this is what I would call on page, looking at what's going on the page, and there's more to it than this, but I'm just giving you the gist of it. And then this is a tool I use to basically estimate about how powerful what's called off page of a website is, and that's saying, so Google measures how popular you are. Basically, it's like a popularity contest, or how powerful you are, or how relevant you are. It's kind of like a popularity contest, and that means how many people are pointing to you. So that means links to your site. And so what I do is I go in here, and domain authority of 28 actually isn't that high, especially for something like plumbers that's competitive. The other ones are actually going to be higher, but I think they have a really good domain name. I think that's making a big difference. I think their domain is old, so you can go to Whois. Yeah, they got a really old domain. So we can even you can if you have this on your site, you can for $10 or $15 a year, your domain registrar can usually give you what's called domain privacy, and your information will be put there. But anyway, so $19.99. That's a really old domain. I mean, anything from the 90s can be really old. And Google, Google trusts older sites. Most sites fail within a year, and so a brand new site is going to be a lot harder to rank than an older site. So that's helping them. Okay, there's something called anchor text. So let me see. So in this case, the anchor text would be home. In this case, the anchor text would be air conditioning. So the anchor text is the text that people click on, and it is sort of like a vote for that text. That's not exactly everything to it. The surrounding text matters, but the text that you are linked to with is very important. And you have to have a natural looking anchor text distribution that also has the search phrase that you want to rank for. And I can usually tell pretty quickly if they're doing SEO. So like Dallas Plumbing Company, yeah, that might be a branded anchor text because their site is Dallas Plumbing. Their company might be called Dallas Plumbing. Dallas AC Repair. They're probably doing SEO. Let's see. I can actually go to this link. Dallas AC. No, it's not even there. So that link probably isn't helping them anymore. Oh, these are blog comments, I think. Dallas AC Repair. Yeah, so these are blog comments. These are sort of low quality links. They're not great, but they're not too terrible as long as you don't overdo them. I think this is going to be another blog comment. So they're doing SEO. Someone is doing this for them. Dallas AC Repair. So I mean, worst case scenario, you could go on here and you could put your own comment with your link, because clearly this is helping them, and it matters. Even though what's called no follow, which means Google isn't supposed to follow it, but they still put a little bit of priority on it. Let me close that out. So Dallas Plumbing. See, this is probably a blog comment as well. Air conditioning Dallas. They've got a pretty good distribution here, because what you need is a lot of these generic website link, your URL, just website, click here, stuff like that. You need that in there. It used to be you could put in 100 Dallas AC repairs, and that's it, and that would be all your anchor text when you did SEO, and Google would rank you really highly for that. But now they recognize that's not natural, and they'll penalize you for that. So you have to do a really good distribution, not only that works now, but that will work well into the future. I'm very conservative when it comes to this. I've spread out a lot of generic text, like click here, stuff like that, and your URL, because a lot of times you'll get URL and a lot of your brand. So if your company is called Company X, a lot of your anchor text should say Company X, because that's how people link a lot of times. So here's another page. We've looked at the title. They have a better title. It starts off with Dallas Plumber, so that's going to really help them. I like to search to see, do they have Dallas Plumber? So they have Dallas Plumber on here on their site a few times. They have a link with Dallas Plumber back to the same page. That's helping them, and that counts. That counts for the links. You go to their off page. Wow, they've got a lot of links. I usually look at this metric more. I should probably explain this a little bit. So this is actually an exponential scale. So what I mean by that is, if you have a domain authority of 50, that's actually better than 50% of the sites out there. That's better than probably 80 to 90%. Because it's an exponential scale. There's very few sites that are in the 90 to 100 range. So 41 is pretty high. And so I would count this to be competitive. And I usually look at the link group domains, not as much as the links. A little bit of social. Let's check out their. Okay, so they're clearly doing SEO, and what they have here might get them penalized sometime in the future, because, well, if I can tell this, then at some point Google will be able to tell that they're doing SEO, because these are actual search phrases. If their top 7 or 8 link anchor texts are search phrases that people are actually typing, and they're getting away with it right now. But look at how many link domains. Let's see, they have 3,300 links. Almost, oh man, like 80 to 90% of their links are with Plumbing Dallas. I'm surprised they're not already penalized. These people are going to be penalized at some point, I think. And let's see what type of links they have. They have a ton of links. Looks like a lot of them are like directory links. I think they'll get penalized at some point, but we'll see. But this is I would count this to be competitive. This is part of why it's competitive. Excuse me, my phone is ringing. Sorry about that. So let's also look at the age of the domain. So they have a pretty old domain. 2005 is pretty old. That's going to help them a lot. Again, usually you don't need it. Just having a few years age makes a big difference, and then having a lot of age can also make a difference. Let's look at one more site. So their title isn't that great. Baker's Brothers Plumbing, and then they list the cities. At least they have the different search phrases, the different pieces of the phrases they want to rank for in there. Let's see if they have Dallas Plumber. Well, they have Dallas and then Plumber a few words later, so that's probably helping them. Dallas Plumbing. No, but they have plumbing in several places. So their on page is okay. Their site is certainly a lot better than that first site. Let's look at their links. So not as many links. They have more social media. Let's check out their anchor text. It doesn't actually look like they're doing SEO because I don't see any like of the major search phrases. It's mostly, this is a very natural distribution, and so you can see Baker's Brothers Plumbing, the branded anchor text, their URL, website link, maybe a few things, link location, leak location. I mean, so this is what a natural distribution looks like, and this is kind of what you'd want to build, maybe with a little bit more of the targeted search phrases. But if I can tell real easily, like on this one, that they're doing SEO, I can tell real easily. Google will be able to tell, and sometimes they do a manual review. I could see them doing a manual review and penalize. If they did a manual review of this site, they would penalize it. So you definitely don't want to do links like this. Okay, so I do have a few. I do want to talk about a few examples of the SEO that I've done for some clients. I don't want to give out their information on this public video, but basically, one example was there was someone who had a business that wasn't showing up anywhere, and within a few months, I got him got a lot of his major search phrases in the first and the second page, and it's only increased from there over the course of. This is just a recent example. Over the course of 3 months now, his top search phrase is number 5 for, and so he's already getting business from it. I've also been able to get some websites, like a brand new website, on the first and second page within a month. That doesn't always happen, but that sometimes happens. I do have my own site that is very competitive, and as of the time of this video, I only started at about, let's say, less than 3 months ago. I only started running it less than 3 months ago, and I'm already ranking pretty highly for some really major terms, like Dallas SEO and some other related terms to that. And obviously that is in my niche, and it's very competitive, and I'm already ranking again on the first, and second page for a lot of search phrases. Not only that, but once you get traffic, there's some really important things that you can do to increase the conversions on your site. So there's more steps. SEO is really only the beginning, and I can help you with the next 2 steps, which are conversions, getting the people that are on your site to convert, and by that I mean either making a phone call or doing some form of way that they contact you. And then there's also, I can help you with what's called sequencing. There's a very powerful tool that I use that makes it so the number of people who turn into a conversion are much more likely to become customers. So it helps you convert your customers. There's some methods there. So if you're interested in having me do something like this for you, I'll also do kind of this on-page and off-page analysis for your own website. Click on the link below and fill out like a contact form, or you can call me at 469-438-8153. Again, my name is David Hood. 469-438-8153. Or you can just call me if you have any questions and just kind of want to fill me out for what I can do for you, or especially I like to know what I like to ask you kind of what your target market is, because if you just do like plumbing, well, there's a lot of different sub niches, especially like lawyers. Lawyers have so many. There's divorce lawyers, DWI lawyers, there's injury lawyers, there's all sorts of different types of lawyers, and a lot of industries have that. So if you have a specialty like that, you're probably going to want to call me, or when you contact me, let me know that. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something. Thank you.